Hi, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Isis Lopez, and I'm with the Austin Code Department here with the City of Austin. Thank you, everyone who's been tuning in right now. Today, we are presenting our Pathway to Compliance Short-Term Rental 101. As you know, the City of Austin continues to grow, and it strikes interest to new residents and visitors alike. The Austin Code Department has been emphasizing the importance of educating our community on how to keep Austin safe for our residents, but also for our visitors. The Austin Code Department has curated this special webinar for you for people who own a short-term rental or are thinking about owning a short-term rental on this trending new venture. Today, we will be answering questions such as, what are the different types of short-term rentals? What documents do you need when applying for a license? How long does it take to receive your license? And how to foster business growth with your short-term rental, or as we will call it in this webinar, STR. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in your question box in your GoToWebinar control panel. We will have time for questions at the end. Also, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the webinar. This webinar is being recorded, and we'll send you a link at the end of the session for your viewing pleasure. Our presenters today are Amber Wood, Daniel Armstrong, and Veronica Samo. Amber has 8 years of experience in customer service and works for our licensing and registration division. Daniel has 31 years of experience in enforcement and works for our Enforcement Operations Division. And Veronica has 5 years of experience with marketing for the Small Business Program Division with the City of Austin. Our first presenter for today is Ms. Amber Wood, who will be talking to you about the licensing and registration process. Hi, good morning, Amber.
Good morning. Thank you. I appreciate the introduction. It's great speaking with all of you today. Today I'll be walking you through what it takes to actually get a license for your short-term rental property. As we had mentioned in the beginning, Austin is a growing city and people from all over the world want to travel to the music capital of the world. As of today, we have over 2,100 registered licenses in the city of Austin. So you may be asking yourself, what is a short-term rental? Well, a short-term rental is classified as the rental of a home, condo, apartment, or etc. for less than 30 consecutive days. And here in the city of Austin, we do require a license for this. Out of those 2,100 licenses, we have 3 different types of short-term rental licenses that can be classified as a type 1, a type 2, or a type 3. The first type is a type 1. And within that, there are 3 different subtypes. A type 1 primary is going to be the owner-occupied principal residential unit. Basically, this means it's a single-family home, duplex or triplex, that's your primary residence. For each type 1, the owner needs to have the property on a homestead exemption. In the subtypes, more specifically, a type 1 primary is the rental of an entire home. A type 1A is the rental of one room in the home or the rental of an accessory structure that has the shared use of a bathroom. A type 1 secondary is the rental of an accessory structure that can stand as an independent living facility for one or more persons, which includes permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation. If you're unsure of which one is which, we would be happy to help you determine on what you qualify for if you call into our licensing and registration office or email us. The second type is going to be a type 2. Within this, we actually have 2 subtypes, a type 2 or a type 2 commercial. The classification of a type 2 is a non-owner occupied principal residential unit. Basically, this means the opposite of a type 1. It would be a single-family home, duplex or triplex that is not your primary residence. This type may not have a homestead exemption on the property. A type 2 is no longer offered in the city of Austin, but we do have a short-term rental license out there for those that have had it prior to the ordinance no longer offering this specific type. And they have continued to renew timely every year. What we do offer now is the type 2 commercial. This is a single family home, duplex or triplex, that is zoned as commercial. There are only 7 commercially zoned districts that qualify for this type. So if you're curious, you can visit our website or call into the main office, and we'd be more than happy to help to see if you qualify. The last type is a type 3. This classification is a non-owner occupied residence that is part of a multifamily structure. Basically, this means a condo, apartment, townhome, or even a fourplex that is not your primary residence. Since I have now gone over what types we offer, I will talk about how you can apply. We currently have 3 different ways to apply for a short-term rental license. The first is by mail. You can download a specific application off of our website, add the required documents, and attach a check or money order with a fee and mail it into our office. The address for this will be located on the bottom of each application. The second way is in person. You can come into the office located at 1520 Rutherford Lane, Building 1 here in Austin, with the required documents and a check, cash, or money order, and we will walk you through the application process. You may also ask someone to drop off an application for you, but note that we cannot discuss anything with that person unless they are an owner of the property or have a notarized authorization for this. Last is the newest option, which we have is applying online. You will create an account and be walked step by step through the application, be able to attach the required documents, and finally pay online using an e-check or credit card. Now you may be asking, what are those required documents she was speaking of? And I'll be going over that and what we require for each application. First is going to be the application itself. This can either be one of the downloaded type-specific applications we have on our website, or if applying online, the website will generate an application from your information when it's submitted to the Austin Code Department. Second is going to be the fee. This is required to be paid for any staff to review an application. This fee does not guarantee that you will get a license, but rather that it will be reviewed and worked. Also note that this fee is non-refundable. The third is going to be property insurance. This is going to be a declarations or summary page that shows the property is covered and has valid dates of coverage. For example, this could be your homeowner's insurance. The fourth is going to be hotel occupancy tax. This is required for all properties that fall into the jurisdiction of Austin Full Purpose. To meet this requirement, you will need to have an account on the Austin Finance online site. This is the same website reference to where people can apply and renew their license, as well as pay the city hotel occupancy taxes. The fifth is going to be a certificate of occupancy. This is a document from the Development Services Department that tells the Austin Code Department what the authorized use of the property is. The sixth is a government-issued ID. This is used to help determine that a property is owner-occupied, or in the case where owner-occupied is not required, it is used to verify we are speaking to the correct person. We also have 2 optional documents. The first is a notarized authorization statement, as referenced before. What this is a document that is written or typed and signed by the owner or owners of the property, giving authority for a third party to act on behalf of the owners, and then it must be notarized. Without this document, we are unable to speak to someone who is not an owner of the property about the short-term rental application. The second optional document is a bedroom verification form, which you will receive from us. In the City of Austin's ordinance, we have occupancy limits for short-term rentals. In this ordinance, a short-term rental is presumed to have 2 bedrooms, except as otherwise determined through an inspection from the Austin Code Department. This is what the form is used for. If you would like to have up to a maximum of 4 bedrooms listed on the license, one of our code inspectors would come out there to verify this for you free of charge. Now, for those of you who already have a license, here is how to renew. The first is we do require the renewal fee to review it. The second will be the updated property insurance. So even though we received it the first time, we will need an updated copy. Again, this will be a declarations or summary page that shows that the short-term rental property is covered and has valid dates of coverage. The third thing is hotel occupancy tax. So you should already have an account, or if you don't, we can help you with that. But we really need that the hotel occupancy taxes are current, if applicable, for that short-term rental. So the time frame to expect your renewal to be approved is within a week if all documents are received and the owner is current on taxes. For a new application, we have up to 30 days to process a new application, but typically a license is approved within 2 weeks if all documents are turned in at the time when the application is received. Next, the fees I spoke of are listed on the page. These are the City Council approved fees. You can see for a new license, the fee is $500 plus the required notification fee of $50. So for a new license, you can expect to pay $550. I won't go in depth on the non-compliance fee causes, but if you receive a notice of violation or citation, when you go to apply for a license, you will also be required to pay a non-compliance fee for violating the city ordinance. The renewal fee is $300, which has changed from $236 that it was last fiscal year. The last is a renewal/inspection for just type 2s. This is a special renewal fee just for type 2s that have had structural violations. For more information on this, please contact the licensing registration office by phone or email. This concludes the licensing and registration portion. For further questions you feel answered, please email strlicensing@austintexas.gov, call our main office at 512-974-9144, or stop by our office located at 1520 Rutherford Lane, Building 1 here in Austin, Texas. And with that, I will turn it over to Dan Armstrong from our enforcement team.
Well, thank you, Amber. Discussing the non-compliance fee was a great way to segue into enforcement. Ladies and gentlemen, as Issa did her introduction earlier, my name is Dan Armstrong. I'm the enforcement supervisor for Austin Code License and Registration Division. I'll be providing an overview of short-term rental enforcement. The practice of STR enforcement is a combination of the regulatory codes and Austin Code Department's operating procedures. Now, for those interested in the specific codes we'll be discussing today, they are 25-794, which covers the general requirements for short-term rentals, and 25-795, which covers the occupancy limits for short-term rentals. You should be seeing a link to Muni Code appear on your screen. One of the most common questions I'm asked at group functions is how we conduct our short-term rental enforcement. Well, it all begins with a complaint. Complaints can be received either through 311, email, other inspectors, other agencies, neighbors of the short-term rental, and what is not uncommon at all is competitors in the STR profession. The complaints are investigated within 24 hours, and if violations are found, enforcement action will be taken. Now, enforcement action can range from a notice of violation up through a request for injunctive relief through district court. This is going to be based on the number and severity of confirmed violations. So a typical scenario could look like this. Inspectors receive a complaint and discover a property operating as an unlicensed short-term rental, and subsequently finds an online advertisement for an unlicensed STR. The inspector will then post the respective citations and process the citations for an administrative hearing. The owner will receive a notice of hearing, and information about where and when to appear will be mailed to the owner. Now, a question often comes up is, how do you know who the owner of the property is? Well, ownership is determined by the appraisal district where the property is situated. Austin covers both Travis and Williamson counties, so we would go to the respective appraisal district for that information. Upon a hearing and an administrative hearing, the hearing officer would determine if a property owner is liable and then set the fine and hearing fee. Another common question is, what are our hours of operation? Now, those hours will vary from time to time, but typically we work Monday through Thursday from 7:30 a.m. until 6 p.m., Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturdays from noon to 11 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we're out 7 days a week. So what can happen? Let's have a scenario. Suppose you are operating an unlicensed short-term rental. You are also operating over occupancy. There are only 2 adults per bedroom allowed, with a 2-bedroom presumption per property, plus 2 more adults. An example is a 2-bedroom home times 2 adults per bedroom, plus the 2 additional adults. That equals 6 adults maximum in a 2-bedroom short-term rental property. And in our scenario, let's suppose that you are also advertising an unlicensed STR. In addition to advertising, let's say that you're advertising over occupancy. And finally, suppose you're allowing the use of the short-term rental for an assembly. Per occupancy limits, a licensee or guest may not use or allow another to use a short-term rental for an assembly between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m., nor use or allow another to use a short-term rental for an outside assembly of more than 6 adults between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. For purposes of occupancy limits for short-term rentals, an assembly includes a wedding, bachelor or bachelorette party, concert, sponsored event, or any similar group activity other than sleeping. Also, for purposes of this scenario, we have just covered 5 violations. Well, what could happen next? What happens next is fines, and they can accumulate very quickly. If a person decides to plead no contest and do a mail-in penalty or mail in their fine within 10 days of the posting of the citation, that fine is $300 per violation. If an individual opts to go to administrative hearing and they are found liable, the first violation would be $500. The second violation, $750, and the third violation would be $1,000. So, once again, in our previous scenario, there were 5 violations. If an individual decided to do the early mail-in payment, the minimum fine would be $1,500. If that same individual opted to go to administrative hearing and they were found liable in the hearing, if each violation was a first offense, the fines would have accumulated to $2,500. So in summary, it pays to get your license and to operate within the code. I thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to fielding any questions you may have. But for now, I'm going to turn the program over to Veronica. Veronica is with the city's small business program.
Thank you. Again, I am Veronica Samo, and I'm part of the marketing and outreach team for the City of Austin's Small Business Program. We're actually a division of the Economic Development Department, and a lot of times we find that folks are surprised to even know that the city offers these resources. And we're very proud to be able to connect entrepreneurs and small business owners in Austin to the business training and assistance that they need. A quick overview of our services. If you're interested in starting a business, or maybe you're an existing business owner and you want to grow your business and you just want to find out more about what we can offer to help you, we have our BizAid business orientation. This is the best first step to dig into more about our programs and support for entrepreneurs. We cover components of a business plan or other options that you can use to map out and grow your business. And then we also wrap up by connecting you to other organizations that provide assistance. So whether it be government entities that you need to reach out to along the way, or other support organizations. For example, Test Before You Invest is an introductory class that can help you grow your business by using small steps to validate and test within the market. This is a good alternative to jumping right into a business plan and can help you narrow your focus and build your idea by starting small. BizOpen commercial property requirements is an orientation that we use to help entrepreneurs understand the development process. If you're opening up a physical location in Austin, there are a lot of considerations that you need to make sure that you're aligned with. For example, permitting, zoning, even certificate of occupancy that was mentioned before. So we try to serve as a liaison to make that process just a little smoother and help walk you through those considerations. Smart Start is also offered in partnership with the Development Services Department. This is more of an FAQ style or frequently asked questions that you can scroll through and help understand any development related questions that you have. We also are proud to offer one-on-one business coaching. So as you're working through your business plan, a marketing plan, or you're just wanting to bounce your ideas as you're writing and researching for your small business, we have coaching available so you can schedule an appointment. Our Small Business Accelerator is an opportunity to learn with a group of other small business owners when you're ready to take your business to the next level. And this is an application-based process, and you'll work through weekly classroom activities, and you'll also be connected to mentors that can help provide guidance in your journey. We're proud to offer weekly classes, and these are done in partnership with the University of Texas Center for Professional Education. For example, in November coming up, we have Understanding Business Taxes, Human Resource Basics, and even a social media best practices. So we offer a variety of business-specific topics. They're all taught by small business instructors, and they're also part of our business skills certification. So by attending any one of these classes offered in partnership with UT, you will earn your business skills certificate, and we celebrate your accomplishment once you've completed 6 of these classes with a ceremony over at City Hall and a little reception that you can celebrate. Throughout the year, we also host specific events to encourage networking and to be able to learn from other small business owners firsthand their experiences. Exploring Entrepreneurship is an opportunity where we'll bring in an industry-focused topic, and it'll be a panel setup or maybe even a workshop that you can connect and learn from other successful entrepreneurs in Austin. The Women's Entrepreneurial Luncheon is also a great opportunity. We're going into our 15th year of offering this particular event, and we love hearing directly from women business owners who are sharing their lessons learned and experiences, and it's also another great networking opportunity to connect with entrepreneurs in Austin. National Small Business Week is celebrated every May. It's always the first week of May. So coming up in 2019, it'll be May 6th through the 10th. And we work with partner organizations to put on classes in support of a variety of business topics, anything from writing a business plan to marketing, or even understanding other funding opportunities that may be available to you. Austin Fast Start is a really fun event that we partner with the Austin Young Chamber to put on. This event in particular is actually a pitch competition. And so it's a fun way to get your idea out into the masses and look for funding opportunities or make connections within that particular industry. Moving on into additional resources that we have. Locally Austin is a mobile app and website that's used to promote locally owned small businesses in town. This is a great way to list your business for free marketing and extra online presence, but it's also a way that residents and visitors can look up local owned businesses. And so if they really want to get that Austin experience, you can search the directory and find anything from a restaurant to a retail shop. Small business resources can be found on our website. This is a directory where we've tried to put all of these helpful tools and organizations all in one place so that it's easily searchable depending on what you're looking for, whether it's networking organizations, trade groups, funding opportunities, or even business coaching. Small business disaster preparedness is also a hub of information that's on our website, and we really encourage you, once you're up and running, this is something that not a lot of people focus on because you tend to think, well, that's not going to happen to me, but we do encourage all small business owners to have a business continuity plan so that any type of business interruption, whether it be floods, fire, or even key staff leaving your business, you are prepared to continue. Another city department that we are proud to partner with is the Austin Public Library. You may be familiar with all the different resources that they have. You can walk into a library branch and access dozens of databases if you're doing market research, or even if you're in the early stages of business planning, you can find helpful templates to compare your business idea to, and you can start to plug in and map out your plan. We also host our orientations and small business classes throughout the city, so we hope that we can reach you. Funding opportunities, specifically within our division, we have the Family Business Loan Program. This is a public-private partnership of low-interest loans for small business expansion and job creation. So this is targeted more for an existing business, and you're looking to hire employees and really grow your presence in the market. And one component of that specifically targeted towards veteran entrepreneurs is the Veterans Business Loan Initiative as well.
All right, thank you so much, Veronica, for that helpful information on our small business program that we can take advantage of here in the city of Austin. Hopefully you've learned a lot of interesting information on the 3 different types of short-term rentals, the different documents that you need for the different types of short-term rentals and how long it takes to receive it. And also, I hope you also learned from Dan Armstrong on the process that we have here at the city of Austin for our enforcement operations for those short-term rentals who are not licensed or who are not following those rules. We'll have a little bit of time for questions. For those of you who haven't submitted your questions, please use your GoToWebinar software to submit the questions. We obviously might not have time to do all of those questions, but if you have any other questions that you might not want to submit in this webinar, you can email them to our licensing team at strlicensing@austintexas.gov. Also, if you want to learn on your own more information about our short-term rental process, you can go to our website at www.austintexas.gov/STR, and there you'll find pretty much everything that we talked about today with our short-term rental process.